Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's John with Addicted to Fishing. And today I'm going to cover one of my favorite little jig heads that I've been using. Um, I've covered this in the past, but now I'm kind of taking it to another level with a little different size. So I thought I'd bring you along and just show you what the modifications that I'm doing. In the past, you remember me talking about the Okashira spin bait, or the little prop blade on that. Gives you a great little action on a little swim bait head. Okay, these little guys are not that cheap. So what I did is I modified the VMC Boxer, made a little different head. I like the more ball head on this one versus the wedge shape on the Megabass, especially around rock. But what if you're looking for a little swim bait head, but you don't want this little 16th ounce or something small, a 32nd ounce? Well, what if, and I love this head, and remember I told you when I bought these molds I was looking for a few different ways to do some modifications. What if you took that poison tail and a 3/8 and you made it? And not only that, you upgraded the keeper. I don't know how well this keeper's going to work yet. I haven't tried it, but I think it's going to work well. And just to kind of, I started on this one, and I thought, well, why not flip it on, and we'll show you this one through the finish of this part, and then I'll show you how I do it and get to this point. This one, of course, hasn't had the eyes dressed up on it. This one's set up more to go with the be for a swim jig. I didn't use the underspin clasp up front. This one, the paint's a little chipped on it. That's what I've taken to some of these that were imperfections that I was doing when making my bladed jigs, and came up with these. So anyway, you can see the components there. And I'll walk you through it here in a minute, and I'll give you the part numbers. But anyway, if you want to use the wire keeper or the hitchhiker, all you have to do is what I did is I simply slid that hitchhiker over, and you can turn it and tuck it up. Whoop, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. That's how I did it the first time, and realized that if I do it this way, it's a lot better. You slide it through the middle. And you could use a WB 800 or something along that lines on there. But basically you need that little piece of heat shrink to keep your stuff in place. I make sure that it's going to spin. Put the hitchhiker on, get you a lighter. Of course, when I'm out here in my garage, the fan going, it's hard to do this. It wants to blow my flame out, get that hot. And that one really didn't want to seat down in there right. I know this is a little too much heat, but I know if I use the torch, I can get that sucker on there, and my fan is not going to be able to blow out. And that when I put a little too much heat on it, I burnt the heat shrink tube to a crisp. No biggie. The problem with it, I'm out here and it's hot, I'm trying to have a little fan going. Take a piece of that heat shrink tube. I'm actually going to do this in two parts. Let's do a small piece of heat shrink tube Just put it on the shank of the hook, bring it up, get it in place. I have to take this kind of off camera, guys, so I don't scorch that heat shrink tube again. I mean, I guess I should shut my fan off, but man, does it make it hot. So get that in place. Let's come back with the hitchhiker. And I make sure that that's going to line up correctly. Cut me off another piece of heat shrink tube. But I'll go over all this stuff again for you guys here in a minute. Slide that one over the shaft. Just go on. It takes a little bit of time to do these, guys, because you're trying to line it all up, get the snuggest fit possible. Yeah, I think I'm really going to have to at least turn that fan. So I can do this flame. There we go. And there you have it. Alright, so what we're doing here is I've taken, and this one I haven't done all the way. The paint on it's already chipped off because it's been banged up a little bit. But anyway, what you start off with is you pour your regular poison tail. And I'm going to repowder coat this one, put a touch up on it. Take you a pair of cutters, come in here, cut that right behind the head, cut that lead. So you cut that collar off. It's the same thing on the other jigs, what I was doing. You cut that collar loose. So you end up like this. I grab my hemo. Clip it down on that jig. Take the torch. Get all that off. So you're left with the head like that. Now this one I gotta repaint, so we're not gonna do that one. But I just so happen to have a couple more ready to go that I already cut that collar off. I just wanted to show you, cut the collar off. Okay. And what we need to do, a piece of heat shrink tube there. We set that to the side. And then you need a cup washer. These are the 7/32. You can get them at Jan's. The cup washer looks like this. And the hole in the center of that is not quite big enough, so I take a drill with a bit. Drill out that center. Get the center drilled out. Back that cup washer out, or that bit out of that cup washer. And be careful not to bend your cup washer. Okay, so you need 2 of them cup washers. That's one. And however you want to drill it out, that's your thing. This is how I do it. Not rocket science, guys. And I just use this piece like this, put that cup washer behind it, turn my bit in reverse, pull it out. Then you need the propeller blade. This is the, they call them, I think, a dumbbell. This is size 3. Also from Jan's. You can pause the video, get the part number if you want to order that part. I take one of the propeller blade sides, take that drill bit on a piece of wood. Yeah, this one actually went through pretty easily on the just in that. Alright, so to assemble this is pretty important. If you don't do it this way, it's not going to work correctly. So you take your hook and the first cup washer, and you want this to barely fit over the hook. The barb's what gets you, but that first cup washer, the pointed end needs to go towards the back of the hook or towards the bend. Then you go on with your blade. The blade fits over a lot easier. Then you come with the next cup washer, turn the opposite way so that the cup is facing towards the head. You see how that works? Get you a small piece of heat shrink. Come up over the top with the heat shrink. Get it close to where you want it. You gotta leave a little wiggle room. Light that heat shrink. Get it to shrink down on the shank of that hook. And you can stop right there if you wanted to. Now you've got your screw lock. We could also, if we wanted to, we could get the vise out. We could lay a WB 400 on there or whatever, the single or the double. Pull that out for you. You could either use the WBD 1000, which is the double keeper, or you can come back with a WB 800, which is the single keeper. You could heat shrink that to it real quick, or if you have a fly tying vise, you could put your head in a vise and you could wrap nylon thread around it, which is probably the best and easiest way to do it. I'll probably do a couple of those that way. But anyway, that'll give you a nice keeper for that swim bait on there, or whatever trailer you're running on that. But I thought that was a great little mod to give you a lot bigger head. You can see, and I'll put all 3 of them side by side by side. This is the VMC Boxer, the Okashira, and then my version with the poison tail. This has a 4-aught hook. I'd say this is a, maybe a 1-aught hook. That's definitely a 1 or a 2-aught hook. If you're looking for that finesse presentation, and you definitely need that small profile. The Mega Bass does the trick really well. If you're wanting to save some money and do the same thing, definitely can take any little swim bait head that you have and add these prop blades to them. I buy the prop blades in a couple different sizes. That's a size 3 that I showed you. But I also run that, and I don't have it. I think it's a size 2. And then I've got a smaller cup washer. But anyway, guys, it's a quick little hack on how to make yourself some prop blades and get away from just a little small finesse size. You can actually go up in size and a little different head shape. I really like how the poison tail swims. I've absolutely destroyed them on my chatterbait. I like how it kind of hunts through the water. I think it's going to be a great little prop blade head. Plus I wanted something a little bigger, so if I'm using, a 3.8, 3, 4, maybe not a 3, but definitely a 4 or 5 inch swim bait, I've got something a little beefier for that. This is actually a mustad spinnerbait hook. And then I went back to the mustad regular hook for that. I've started using that hook a little differently to make my chatters. And I'm getting a lot better hook. As you can see, that extra wide gap there. So my normal chatter started out like that, and now they're coming out like this. This one actually has that underspin connect point at the front. But again, guys, real simple, real little easy hack to make yourself a great little prop blade. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I can keep bringing you some little hacks like this, ways to save yourself some money. Again, we're fishing on a budget. We're trying to not necessarily use cheap equipment, cheap lures, but we're learning how to save some money, and I'm showing you how I'm doing it. So anyway, guys, until the next video, I'm going to have coming out shortly another modification that I'm going to do with this poison tail jig mold. As you can see so far, we're going to be making prop blades. That's one. The second bait that we're making out of that mold, I need to get one out. This is one I've been catching a lot of fish on, and I noticed I didn't have a keeper for the swim bait. This has been a hot color right now for me, but we're making a bladed jig. And again, you can see that hook. That's that spinnerbait hook. Let me see if I have one already fully dressed in here. And I don't have one, but let me see if I know I've got one right here, not painted. And I can even show you the side-by-side comparison before all the parts are put on them. I definitely like the new style that I'm doing. This is with that spinnerbait hook. And then this is with the other hook. I'm definitely liking this a lot better. And I'm still able to get that keeper in the top. I've made up several of these. Some of them I've got to bake yet. Some of them I'm probably post-bake on some of my different stuff, but I keep a little 3600 size box handy with all the painted or poured baits in it. So anyway, let's get back on track here a little bit. We're making a bladed jig. We're making a prop blade. I've also going to be making these as a weedless swim jig. So that's 3. You can run it as just a swim bait head without the propeller. And then, so that's 4. And then my 5th lure that I'm going to be able to make out of that poison tail, we'll be revealing that shortly. Once I get the parts that I need to make that modification to that mold. And I'll still be able to pour everything that I've already done with this last modification, and it's going to be nice. There's already a lot of people out there doing this modification, but I'm excited. It's probably in the top 5. It's probably, you know, one of my number 1 or number 2 baits. The chatterbait's slowly becoming my number 1. This guy's been beat up pretty good. It's lost an eye. It's caught several fish on it, but this one I'm getting ready to do a slight modification to it. Nope, this one has a keeper on it. One of them that I have, I might have to find it in there, doesn't have that wire keeper, but I need to definitely get a wire keeper on there. I was fishing with it the other day, and the swim bait, actually the Zacco that I had on the back, kept sliding off. But anyway, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be more videos coming. We're going to make some more modifications and more good stuff to come. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps my channel out. It lets me know I'm getting the right content out to the right crowd of people. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I'm putting out new videos. Until the next one, happy fishing to you.